Thank you, Nikki. Yes, as you say, it's France that go marching on to the World Cup final. So there, Jose Mourinho, what did you think of that match?
Well, I think, as I was telling you at the half-time, that happened what we could expect. One goal would win it, and one goal would create some reaction, and that happened. More space for France to counterattack, more initiative from Belgium. But I think the Belgian players, they go home with a bad feeling, a feeling that we could do more and better, a feeling that probably Hazard is out of it because he tried absolutely everything. But many of other players, they kept hiding, and a little bit more in the last 20-25 minutes, but they are much better than that. And for big occasions, big players, and many of the players, they were not there in the big occasion. France was good on the basic things of the game. They defended well, they were compact. They scored a goal that probably is Fellaini, the last man to touch it, but they score, and then they try to control the game, which basically they did with a fantastic performance by Varane, and I think a very good performance by Pogba. Pogba was mature. He played the game with great maturity. When he had to hold position and to keep control of the game, he did. When Deschamps took off Giroud to bring Nzonzi, then Pogba had more freedom, but had freedom not to do silly things. He had freedom to keep the ball away from the dangerous areas, to keep the ball, to assist Griezmann for a great chance. He was very, very mature. But in the end, I think the result was 1-0, could be 0-0, could be 1-1, and be now waiting for extra time. But since the beginning, I was smelling this. I was smelling a match without many goals, and a game that was good by the emotion that involves the semi-final, but what was not especially good football match.
Well, we can probably see the pictures for the goal now. I mean, it's another goal from a set piece at this World Cup as well.
You know, set pieces are something that you can train without damage more of your physical condition. And when you are in a competition like this, where the accumulation of fatigue comes, you have just to recover. Then it's very difficult to have training sessions of development of tactical situations that create even more spending of energy, opening the door for more small injuries. So what can you train? Set place. You don't run, you don't spend any of your energetic sources. You do it in a relaxed way. You do it as part of your recovering sessions, and you go for the set pieces, and you develop the set pieces, and you become really dangerous on that, and you know that can be, in this case, happen in the space between, I think, Witsel and Fellaini. Umtiti attacks the ball very well in the space, but the most important thing is the quality of the service, and the service was fast, was exactly on that spot. Then Umtiti comes, and between Umtiti and Fellaini, they give no chance to Courtois.
Indeed, and also you said, talking about energy as well. I mean, Kylian Mbappe again had some tricks and flicks as well. He proved that he is a prodigy. He's something for the future for France as well.
Oh yes, this French team is young. You know, Varane looks a player with 20 years of football, but Varane must be below 25. He played his first match with me with 18 in Real Madrid. That was 2013, so he must be now 24 years old or so. And then Griezmann is young, Paul is young, Pavard, Lucas Hernandez, Umtiti, Matuidi. I think only Lloris, Giroud, Matuidi, they are on the 30s. It's a very, very young team. And of course, 2 years ago, Euro Cup final, World Cup final now, and the majority of these players, they have one more Euro to play or two, they have one more World Cup to play or two.
Well, Lloris, I mean, as you said, he might be in his 30s, but he did produce some fine saves as well.
Yeah, but for me the best one is Courtois on Tolisso. Of course, he's in a moment of the game where everything is almost decided. That gave only a corner where Paul could keep the ball and hide the ball from the Belgian players in the last 30 seconds of the game, but that is the save. And for a man of 2 meters to go to that ball with his left hand is a fantastic save.
So France go marching on. They'll face either Croatia or England. I mean, how do you see? You said before that Croatia were tired. How do you see the second semi-final playing out?
You know, I think England is fresher, has younger players, had an easy group phase where they play 2 easy matches, and the match against Belgium they change every player. So the players that are playing now, they all had 1 match less than Croatia to play because they didn't play against Belgium, and the majority of the players are young, fit players. When I look to the team, I think Ashley Young, 33 years old just today or yesterday, something like that. And apart of that, the players are all very young and very fit. And the way England plays with 3 centre backs, probably Trippier is Ashley Young are the players that have to run more. I see Croatia probably as the globality, the best midfield players in the competition. If Paul plays always like he did today in the second half, then Paul, Matuidi is and Kante is a fantastic group of players. Modric, Rakitic, Brozovic is the same level. So let's see what happened between England and Croatia. I think Croatia has great mentality, a fantastic midfield player to control the game and the possession of the game. But England is a happy team. Is a team that you look at them and you see happiness. Is a team that they went from Eden candidate to a candidate, and I just hope, because that's what they really need, I just hope that they are themselves and not like Belgium, that the majority of the players, they were not themselves. In big matches you have to be yourself or a bit better. The big match can make you a bit better. That extra adrenaline, that extra feeling of how big I am can only make you better. If the big occasion makes you worse than you are, then you regret. And I think the majority of the Belgian players are having now this feeling, and I hope that this is not the feeling of the English players. Looking to my boys, I think Lingard is one that enjoyed the occasion. I think Lingard is going to be Lingard. I think he's going to be the happy kid that he is every day and that is showing in every match. I think he's going to show the same. Ashley Young is very reliable. I think he will not be affected by the occasion, and normally Marcus Rashford and Phil Jones will not play. But looking to the England players, I really believe that that will be there for for the occasion. And of course, Modric is one of my boys. When I bought him to Real Madrid, the Spanish press was saying that we bought the worst player of Real Madrid history. He's not at all the worst player of Real Madrid history. But I have 4 of my boys in the English team, and that's my second country. So hopefully England does it.
And also, you said not only is it the England camp happy, but also there's a whole sense of happy atmosphere across the World Cup as well, and also in Moscow, where you've been. What have your impressions been of the Russian World Cup?
Amazing. I think, and hopefully it ends this way. Incidents, if something happened, was minor. Lots of happiness, amazing fair play, just 2 quick flashes. Cristiano with Cavani, the Japanese people cleaning the stadium, the Russian people with pride on the feet, which is not so easy, and absolutely amazing. For me, was so good to be in Russia and to feel all of that I really want to do a World Cup. I keep saying the same, that I am a club manager. I don't see myself playing 1 match per month, but I want to do a World Cup.
I'll wait to see on that one. In terms of, let's go back to a little bit about Russia against Croatia. That again was another incredible match. What were your thoughts about that one?
You know, when Russia equalized in the extra time, normally the gods of football make that team wins. Is the disappointment against the happiness. But also the gods of football, sometimes they are not fair. And Mario had a fantastic World Cup. I don't think it's easy when you play for a country that, of course, you love, but is not your home country, like in Mario's case. He scored a fantastic goal to take the team to the penalty shootout, and then he misses one of the important ones. So football sometimes is not fair. I think Croatia has more potential than the Russian team, has better players, but I think Russia played in the limits. And when you play in the limits, you bring people to your side, and you leave the competition with that pride. So I think the Russian players, Cherchesov, everybody connected with the team, everybody was saying they would go home on the group phase. I always told no chance. But then what they did against Spain, and what they did against Croatia was phenomenal. And again, they have to find solutions internally to replace Inašević, to replace a couple of players that are not, of course, going to make it for the next Euros or for the next World Cup. But a new generation of young players show they are there. Golovin, Cherichev, lots of players, they put themselves forward. And I think Russia can look to the future with better hopes, because to reach the quarterfinals and to lose the quarterfinals on a penalty shootout, which is a bit of a gamble, I think is a reason for I believe in the future.
And in terms of the future, let's look ahead to the final then. In terms of Didier Deschamps, he's been under pressure as well as a manager, but he could be joining, it would be just a triumvirate with Franz Beckenbauer and Manuel Zagallo in actually being a player and a coach that wins the World Cup. An incredible achievement. I mean, it's on, isn't it?
That would be fantastic for Didier, and you know, he lost European finals as a manager. He lost a Champions League final in 2004 with Monaco. He lost the Euros at home 2 years ago. So as a manager, he did very good things, but as you know, in our lives, you do it or you don't do it, and he didn't. So to reach the World Cup final is amazing for him as a manager, and if you put together for his country the player and the manager, to reach 2 World Cup finals is fantastic. And if he managed to win it as a player and as a manager, even better. He took care of this generation in the French national team at the youth level. The work is really amazing. The production of new talents is coming. Remember the players that were not selected, you know, and thinking immediately, just command Martial, 2 players that would play for any of the other teams. So the talent is amazing. But Didier managed to stick with these ideas, to make a very strong decision of not selecting a fantastic player like Karim Benzema, but only him knows the reasons. And I always admire managers that don't care too much with the public opinion, and they stick with their thoughts and with their beliefs, and Didier did it very, very well.
Indeed. Jose Mourinho, thank you very much indeed
Thanks
for your
so much.
thoughts.
Speak tomorrow.
Thank you. And so it's France that go marching on to the World Cup final, and for us we cross to our Moscow studio with Neil and Ewan.
Many thanks, Kate, and many thanks, Jose.